Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Now, I've made quite a few of these videos and generally all the videos follow the exact same formula. I sit down somewhere, I start by saying, hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence, and today we're going to talk about X, right? And whatever X is differs from video to video. Sometimes it's something to do with filmmaking, sometimes it's to do with general mental health, sometimes it's to do with trying to motivate you out of some sort of slump, sometimes it's something to do with politics and the world all around us, sometimes it's something completely personal and about me, right? And sometimes it's just something strange, right? So all of these different categories of videos, right, all fall under different sort of tags and things for the algorithm to pick up on, right? So there's so many different keywords that go on. There's like filmmaking, there's music, there's driving lessons, there's politics. I just did one about the online safety bill. There's so many different topics there, right? And the algorithm might have a hard time of picking up what it should promote or what it shouldn't, right? And yet, for some reason, I find that if I just sit there and I just make what I want to make, rather than trying to follow what YouTube kind of wants me to do, I end up getting more results out of it. For instance, my most viewed video at the moment is something about advertising. And when that came out, it did loads of views really quickly. And I thought, oh, brilliant, I'll just make loads of videos on advertising. So I made more videos on advertising and they didn't do the same numbers, right? I did another one that got quite big, called, it was something about motivating you and saying you're more interested than you think you are. So I did more videos along those lines and those videos didn't take off, right? So if you sit there and chase what the algorithm thinks, right, and try and guess what the algorithm thinks, you're going to be chasing dust forever, right? Because at the end of the day, the algorithm moves all the time. I know like moves is a bit of a vague term here, but for instance, the algorithm certainly shifts in the way that it works every sort of 6-7 months or so, right? And what happens on the algorithm with those changes, it changes what kind of thing it wants to promote. So 1 month it might want to promote sort of long form kind of interpersonal sort of things like this, where we're building a parasocial relationship and talking about personal experience. The next it might want to go for some sort of slick animated kind of documentary type thing. Right? The next, it might be obsessed with AI, like it's been a bit recently. It's just obsessed with AI and making AI generated, like videos about AI and how AI is going to take over the world. So there's so many different ways that the algorithm can go and you can't predict it. And if you try and predict it, again, you're going to be chasing dust, right? I've tried to do what the algorithm wants me to do many times, you know, following trending topics, trying to fill out the tags and the description and the keywords and the location, all this different metadata. That doesn't necessarily work. I've found that if I don't put any tags on my videos, that they seem to do better. I'd stop bothering to put any tags on this channel, and this channel seems to do quite well compared to previous channels I had where I was constantly putting tags and location descriptors and filling out the description every single time. Doing all that kind of stuff led to like 30-50 views a video. Now I put barely any effort in and I get 10, 15, 20 times that. And why is that? I think it's because with these videos, for instance, there's generally always some level of parasocial relationship between me and you, right? I'm always here talking about the general sort of stuff that I talk about. And if you see a video from me, either that's something that you expect me to be talking about, you go, oh, he's just talking about the stuff that he usually talks about, I'm interested in that, so I'll click that. Or if I talk about something that you weren't expecting, then that kind of raises your eyebrows and makes you go, huh, I wasn't expecting him to talk about AI. I wasn't expecting him to talk about that or this or the other, right? I'm going to click on that and find out what's going on because I've already built a parasocial relationship with him, so I know kind of what his personality is like, and I know kind of, I can take a guess on what his take is going to be on certain things, right? And this is something that I do with all my favorite YouTubers. They make a video about something, I generally, before I even click on it, have a vague idea of what their conclusion is going to be, right? For instance, there's a channel that I quite like called Boy Boy. And they like to do reactions to stuff in a very sort of anti-American sort of sentiment. So if they do one about CIA torture techniques, I know for a fact that they're not going to be talking about how fantastic and efficient those torture techniques are and how they're really useful for capturing criminals or getting information out of criminals. If they do one about reacting to the police force, some guy following the police force around, I know for a fact that they're probably not going to be saying, oh wow, isn't it crazy how great the police force is in America? Oh wow, shooting, pew, 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 guns, 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 aren't guns cool? I'm 99.99999% sure that they're not going to take that stance. And so because I already have this idea of what it's going to be, even though it's something new to me, it fits within my general comfort zone. And you want to make things that fit within people's comfort zones. You don't want to challenge people too much. You want to challenge them a little bit so they don't feel like they're being spoon-fed, like just pure shite, right? So they don't want to feel like a dribbling idiot, but they want to feel like they're intellectual without having to actually do anything intellectual. They want to sit there and feel these grand ideas without actually putting in any fucking work to research them. That's why all these videos about like philosophy and shit do so well, because there's a load of people that sit there and go, oh, I'd love to be a deep thinker. But they don't actually have the balls or the effort or the stamina, you know, or the willing mind to actually go and research anything about philosophy. They'll just go watch some fucking numpty like me talk about philosophy. And guess what? I'm one of them fucking numpties as well. I don't research philosophy. I can't be fucking asked, right? Everything that I talk about when it comes to philosophy is just off the top of my fucking head. And so people think that these videos are a lot deeper than they actually are, right? And that's what you got to do with your videos. You got to find some kind of fucking reason for the algorithm to pick you up. Oh, that's right in my fucking eye, that. Like this, imagine this isn't like a hook at all. This is literally just the case. Fuck off. Ow. Okay, I think it's gone. It's mostly gone. Okay, that's mostly gone. Great, we can get back to it. Right, so the general point that I'm trying to make with this, right? The general point that I'm trying to make is, it doesn't matter how much effort you put into your videos. It doesn't matter how perfect you make all your little transitions. It doesn't matter how long you spend, you know, equalizing the audio, making sure that every single technical detail is perfect. It doesn't matter that you've managed to get the perfect hook and the perfect subject and the perfect thumbnail, all of this stuff. Do you know how many thumbnails with perfect titles and like a great hook in the first 5 seconds? Do you know how many videos I see that are absolutely perfect for the algorithm that have like 50, 100 views? I see so many. And then you'll see some random fucking camcorder clip of some random old man, right, talking about fucking, oh, I'm 90 years old, let me teach you my ways, you know? And you'll see that, and that will get something like 900,000 views. So there's no winning here. There's no, like, guessing what the algorithm's gonna do. All you can do is just be yourself. Put your most accurate version, your most authentic self out there, right? And people will either like it or they won't like it. If you try and sit behind some kind of fake fucking barrier, right? Imagine all of this shit in front of my hands, right? Between me and the camera, right? This shot that you're seeing. Imagine all of this is fog, right? And this fog is various editorialization. So you've got thumbnails that I wouldn't make, titles that I wouldn't say, with things that I wouldn't say. I put on a voice just so that I can say these things, so that, because this is a voice that people want to hear, you know? And then maybe I have it into a microphone that I use like specifically just for these videos, like a really professional boomy type sort of microphone, right? All of this stuff is already sucking away the authenticity straight away. And then you pile it on with just topics you wouldn't talk about, opinions that you wouldn't have. You're just trying to follow the general algorithm, you know? Oh, I'm gonna do a video snapshot of this fucking slot machine and do a video about gambling, because gambling is a trending topic. Not because I actually care about gambling, I have anything to say about gambling, but I just figure everyone's talking about gambling right now, so I'm gonna do a video about gambling, right? No, don't do the video about gambling. Fuck the video about gambling, right? Because at the end of the day, that trend will pass and a new one will come around. Trends are constantly coming and going, right? And all you can do is you can be somewhere static, right? They say if you're in the supermarket, right, and you're trying to find your wife, right, one of you should just stay still, right? Because if you're both searching for each other, right, you're never gonna fucking find each other. Because say I'm here, my wife's here, right, and I'm going all over the place, right? bam, now she's here. She would have met me if I hadn't moved. But because I've moved, I'm now over here where she fucking was, right? So we're constantly moving around. We're moving past the trends. If you just cement yourself down as this is me, this is my authentic self. I don't care whether the algorithm likes me or not, but this is who I am and this is what I want to showcase to the world. Then eventually your wife will find you, right? And you'll end up being promoted by the algorithm in some form or another, right? You see so many YouTube channels where they've been doing it for ages, right? And then eventually they manage to get off somewhere and they manage to actually get loads of attraction, right? The Soy Pill is a channel that I've been enjoying quite a lot lately. He does these political American type fucking things. And he was doing it regularly for 4 years before he got picked up by the algorithm, right? Not everyone is like me, where they get picked up immediately. I got extremely, extremely lucky, right? I'm extremely privileged to have 55,000 subscribers that I didn't earn, right? Some people actually went out there and grafted day in, day out, getting these videos done, figuring out like what kind of thumbnails and titles and all that sort of stuff are going to work. Me, I just record one of these and then I just chuck it out onto the internet and it gets like nearly 800 views guaranteed, right? I don't think that's necessarily a fair system, but you know what? That's just the system that we have. I think because I cemented myself down, my wife found me pretty soon because I was near the entrance, right? I don't know what that means in the metaphor. I think what it sort of means is, look, if you be your authentic self rather than try and present some kind of fake ideal of yourself, you're gonna do better. Say, I see a lot of like Indian, Filipino, Thai people that don't have particularly good English accents because English is their second language. And so what they do is they use AI to do their voice instead because they're not confident in their voice and their voiceover abilities. So you'll end up getting a million different channels. They might be quite interesting, but they all sound the fucking same because they're all using the same 20 different AI voices because they're too scared of showing their actual voice on camera because, ooh, I've got an accent. It's like, fuck, who cares about your accent? People care about what you're saying, right? And if you have such an interesting accent that you're so ashamed about, it's obviously unique, right? So clearly it's something that could hook people in. People say that my accent's a bit weird, right? I'm not going to sit here and hide it away and put an AI voice, this, hello everybody, my name is Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence, and today we are talking about algorithms. You need to be a fake version of yourself in order to get onto the algorithm, right? No, fuck off with all that. Just be yourself. If you be yourself, right, and you're making a lot of videos, consistency, authenticity, those are the two things you need. You don't need anything fucking else. Maybe some editing skills, right? But even then, that's optional. It's not about being hi-fi or slick and professional because people don't want that at the end of the day. If you can have it alongside of being an authentic version of yourself, then sure, go for it. But you don't need it. It's not the absolute utmost fucking important thing in the universe. There's the Soy Pill, right? That YouTube channel I talked about. The audio kind of sucks. The visuals are kind of stupid. It's just like him with a fucking dumb avatar in front of a yellow background that never fucking changes, right? And occasionally he'll bring up a clip of something that he's talking about. And it's good editing, right? But it doesn't look slick and professional. It doesn't look like a Netflix documentary. You don't need everything to look fucking perfect. You just need it to feel like you. And those videos feel like him, right? And my videos feel like me. And anyone that's done this for a while, they eventually fall into this sort of thing of just like, right, I'm just going to be myself from now on. And when you do that, you get better, right? And the better you get, the more likely you are to get picked up by the algorithm. When you get picked up by the algorithm, then you can eventually get monetized, and that can bring in some money. Even though you can't live off that money, right? It's nice to just have like, you know, 5-10 quid come in a day. That's quite nice. I don't even make that now. But, you know, that's kind of it really. I've kind of fizzled myself out. So yeah, that's going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope you got something out of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know your thoughts on this video, on being authentic and all that sort of stuff. Do you think that you should try and, you know, be the perfect version of yourself for the algorithm? And if so, why do you think that? Are you a social media marketer that's had experience in this? And if so, can you teach me, please? Because I want to try and get a job in social media marketing, and I want to make my CV as fucking good as possible. Resume for Americans. I want it to be as good as possible. So if I could possibly get like 5 channels all monetized with just some dumb fucking shit that I don't even care about, that would prove to a social media marketing company, Joshua Morrison is pretty fucking good at that social media marketing stuff. He's getting all these channels up to like 50,000 subscribers each. Let's hire him on 40k a year. Bam, I can just sit back and just make these videos for fun, right? And then I could get my fucking deposit on a mortgage on a house that I want, right? And provide for the people that I care about. That's all I want to do. So yeah, that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye bye. Whoa. I was going to try and do like some sort of swiping under thing. It didn't work. I'll just walk off.